over 114. Oh, got it.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Over 114 years now, it's been our volunteers that have powered our community, set new standards, innovated, created, and defended the outdoor experience that we all love, and provided the resilience that we need to get through these challenging times over the last 2 years through this COVID-19 experience. 2 years ago, when I had just joined as the president of the board, one of the first things that happened was I had to talk with the staff and we shut down the organization. That's not something that was on the roadmap and not something that any of us in this meeting today would have liked to have happened. But it was what we had to do at the time to keep our community safe as we faced great uncertainty, and the whole world faced uncertainty around what was COVID-19 and how do we keep our people safe. Faced with this adversity that the organization had at the time, much like a really bad weather forecast when you have a trip planned, our volunteers responded with the analogous of, what's the hiking plan B option for this weekend? We're still going out, right? Where's the Gore-Tex? And for us at the time, I think that meant virtual beta and brews. And I remember doing one early on and we had something like 300 people join, which is more than I think we ever had packed into the program center for one of these virtual events. And so we realized that there's actually not all downside to some of the things that we're being forced into. And it was interesting to learn, much like the world was learning, whether it was remote work and everything else that was going on at the time, to keep the stoke in our community. Our volunteers stepped in and led a huge number of virtual offerings. We also found that through volunteers' innovation, hybrid courses with online lectures all of a sudden relieved some of the challenges with finding a room to lead a lecture. It relieved some of the pressure of getting people to the same place and time through downtown traffic in Seattle or all the way back to Everett. It also enabled us to focus the volunteers on actually working hand in hand with students rather than delivering a PowerPoint presentation in a room and focusing on those critical skills. And then there were volunteers who stepped up and led new 100% digital offerings that got to people in different ways, regardless of their geography, such as our digital offering in the birding course, touching hundreds of different learners. And so I think we learned that we had real benefits to some of these virtual things that we were thrown into. And I'm really intrigued to see how we carry some of those things forward, knowing that if the pandemic becomes endemic and how we live with this, we may go back to being in person. We may not need to wear masks at some point in the future, but at some point we'll say, you know what, actually some of these practices really help us and actually work better for us. Other ones we're glad to leave behind and we're glad to go back to the way that things were. And those will be things that our volunteers will help lead us through. Together, we achieved a ton over the last few years, and it's primarily all because of our volunteers. So let me just give you some of the numbers. And for those of you that are interested more in this, you can go and check out the great impact report that the staff pulled together and that's on the website. Maybe someone could drop that in the chat too, the link to it. But a couple of those numbers here. We have 2,784 volunteers across the organization. And these are volunteers take many shapes and sizes. So while many of us may think of the trip leader or the course leader leading the climbing course or the intro to hiking conditioning series, we're also talking about committee leaders. And those committees could be activity committees, but they can also be other activities such as the carbon footprint reduction committee or our conservation committee that engages in stewardship activities. They could be branch leadership committees working on the budget and the finances that keep the organization running. It can be our lodges, these precious jewels that we have that we wouldn't even be possible to build today. And thankfully we have and we're able to maintain to help get people outside. And finally, it can be people who are serving on the board. So that's 2,784 different unique volunteers. We were two donors shy of 3,000 donors, I noticed. I think I should have found additional friends to hit the 3,000 mark. We had 2,500 hours of stewardship. We got 3,000 different youth outside safely even during the pandemic. And we offered 387 different courses, seminars, and clinics aimed at improving our students' skills to help them get outside safely when being outside was one of the best things we could do during the pandemic. So I want to say thank you. And because of you, our organization is strong. Because of you, our membership continues to grow. Because of you, our courses continue to see strong demand. Because of you, trips, our demand outdoes supply on trips on a regular basis. And because of you, our financials are healthy. And finally, because of you, I'm confident that whatever 2022 throws at us, you all will say, where's the Gore-Tex that we're putting on to get through this? So thank you very much. And I'll turn it back over to you, Michelle.
Thank you very much, Vic. And now I'm going to turn it over to Becca Pogles, our Director of Programs and Operations, for a year in review. Thank you, Becca.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Vic, for the lovely introduction. It's great to see everybody tonight. This is always one of my favorite events of the year. So many good people in a room, a virtual room. I think we all miss being together in person, but it is still such an honor to share this event with all of you. This event has 120 people who care so much about the values of getting people outside and building community and caring for our wild places. You care so much about these values that you give thousands of hours of your time helping others experience the magic of the Pacific Northwest and beyond. To expand on Vic's numbers a little bit, the folks logged in tonight represent all of our branches: Bellingham, Everett, Foothills, Kitsap, Olympia, Seattle, and Tacoma, as well as our outdoor centers, Meany Lodge, Baker Lodge, Stevens Lodge, and the Kitsap Forest Theater. 92 people logged in tonight are super volunteers, 92 of you, and 33 of you have achieved super volunteer status for 5 years or more, which is just truly an amazing gift of time, so thank you. 79 of you are key leaders, leading 10 or more trips a year, helping thousands of people build their confidence and outdoor community. 81 people logged in tonight are donors, contributing not just time, but a total of nearly $65,000 just last year to support cutting-edge educational facilities, innovative projects, scholarships that make our courses more accessible to more people, investment in youth, and investment in volunteer leadership development. The people on tonight alone contributed more than 24,000 hours of time last year to getting folks outside. But incredibly, this, I keep wanting to call this a room, this group tonight is less than 5% of our volunteers, as Vic said. Together last year, Mountaineers gave over 110,000 hours of time to teaching, leading, and stewardship, offering 259 seminars, 170 courses, and 2,374 trips. Between all of that, we have an average of 11 Mountaineers programs happening every day, which is just astounding. I also want to acknowledge the folks who couldn't make it tonight because they are busy volunteering. This weekend alone, we have more than 60 activities, this weekend alone, led by 177 volunteers, getting 512 participants outside. The folks here tonight and everyone who can't be here are the heart of our community. You're the mentors, the leaders, the cat herders, the behind the scenes workhorses, and the magicians that make this community special. Whether you led one trip or 20, taught at a field trip, checked people in at an event, or chaired a committee, you provided experiences that our disconnected world so desperately needs right now. People are hungry to get outside, away from their screens, and they're looking for meaningful community. You and the 2,000 volunteers who couldn't make it tonight provide skills and mentorship. You help people connect with lifelong adventure partners, and you inspire others to protect our outdoor spaces. For many, you become the second family they didn't even know they were looking for. It's no secret, as Vic said, that 2021 was a challenging year. This was the year that was supposed to be the post-pandemic year, and it was anything but. The world was caught in endless false starts, and nearly everyone experienced creativity fatigue. To me, this makes the work of our volunteers even more valuable and even more impressive. I'm sure the volunteer hours I listed earlier don't reflect the countless hours our volunteers spent changing plans at the last minute, trying to understand new guidelines, and providing compassionate leadership in an effort to help people get outside safely and feel comfortable. I personally witnessed this in the discussions in pretty much every Zoom meeting I attended. And I have to say that despite my own personal Zoom fatigue, every single meeting just felt like such an honor to be on a team with such incredible people who care so deeply about our mission. We've heard many stories from folks about how the Mountaineers was the one part of their life where they could feel a sense of normalcy and community in a pandemic world. And that is all thanks to you. Your impact is immeasurable, and we owe a debt of gratitude to each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us tonight to celebrate the incredible work we do. Thank you for believing in our mission and for sharing your passion for the outdoors with so many people. It is truly an honor to work with this group of outstanding human beings. Now I'll turn it over to Sarah, who's going to kick off our branch service awards.
Awesome. Thank you, Becca. Michelle, are we doing a screen share? You want me to just dive right in?
I'll get that started right now.
Awesome. Well, I will just start by saying it is so wonderful to see everyone this evening. So thank you so much for joining us. It's a real bummer we can't be gathered in person, but this is a real treat to be able to see so many folks from across all of our branches this evening. So thanks so much. Awesome. Let me get my view adjusted. Perfect. So we're starting off tonight with the Bellingham branch, and I have the absolute pleasure of announcing and celebrating our Bellingham branch service award recipient, Chrissy Fagan. Chrissy was our 2020 recipient, and Bellingham will be announcing their 2021 recipient a little bit later in this year, but we missed celebrating Chrissy at our gala last spring when we did all of our 2020 recipients, so we're excited to celebrate her this evening. So Chrissy joined the Mountaineers in fall of 2008 and started with the basic climbing course that following spring. Her first lead climb as part of the crag course was Yellow Jacket Tower that May. It was led by Nathan, and they stuck around Leavenworth to climb R&D the following day. At that time, the crag course was offered as an add-on to the basic course. Chrissy completed the basic course, then went on to start the intermediate course in 2010 and was soon an assistant leader for climbs and field trips. By 2013, she was volunteering on the branch committee and took over the role as communications chair. In that role, she created the Bellingham branch's Facebook account and started the branch's monthly newsletter. In spring of 2015, Chrissy joined an all-female team and completed the latter half of what was dubbed the Almost Famous Volcano Tour, a push to summit and snowboard down the 25 highest volcanoes in the Cascades within a matter of weeks. The tour stretched from Lawson Peak in California to Mount Garibaldi in BC. Alongside an Olympic gold medal winner and a free ride world tour winner, she summited Jefferson, Hood, and Adams, one after another in 3 days, and then continued over the next few weeks to summit the rest of the volcanoes north of there, except for Rainier, which the team missed due to poor weather. In 2017, Chrissy took over not only the leadership of the crag course, but she also became the Bellingham branch chair that summer. She took a leadership role within the Alpine Ambassadors after her first trip with the program in February 2018, when she went to Canmore in Alberta for ice climbing, and has since helped facilitate programs there, as well as Alpine Ambassador trips to Squamish and to Highlight Canyon in Montana. Inspired by the leaders that had come before her, she became a climb leader in fall of 2018, and then followed that up in 2019 by starting to volunteer at the Vamos Outdoors Project, which is a nonprofit group that works primarily with Latinx families to provide the youth with opportunities for outdoor recreation and environmental education. She's been instrumental in coordinating Bellingham branch support for Vamos and is passionate about encouraging women and other underrepresented communities in climbing and other outdoor sports. In spring of 2020, Chrissy helped the branch navigate the tough decisions on how to deal with the COVID pandemic as a club, while also caring for the general public as an ICU nurse. Last summer, she passed the torch and stepped down as branch chair, but still stayed active with the club and in the outdoors. She spent much of last summer trail running and training for ultra marathons, and her husband, Jason, is astonished by her drive, endurance, and enthusiasm. Chrissy has been a Mountaineer super volunteer in 2015, 17, 19, 20, and 21, and has given numerous hours to the Bellingham branch, not only in the less glamorous ways like planning course schedules and going to committee meetings, but also by sharing her technical skills, especially in regards to sliding downhill on snow. She's also always sharing her smile and contagious giggle, which if any of you have had the pleasure of hearing Chrissy's contagious giggle, it is one of my favorite things. So please join me in congratulating the recipient of the Mountaineers 2020 Bellingham Branch Service Award, Chrissy Fagan. Congrats, Chrissy, and thank you so much. Awesome. And I think we're turning it over to you, Nick.
Excellent. Sounds good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sarah. My name is Nick Mayo. I'm actually the climbing chair in Everett. Our branch chair, Elena Jorgensen, couldn't attend tonight, but it's my great honor to bestow the Larry Ingles Distinguished Service Award for our 2020 recipient. And we'll talk about that in a second. For those of you who haven't heard of it, the Larry Ingles Distinguished Service Award recognizes Everett Mountaineers who have served prodigiously in volunteer and leadership roles that are so vital to our branch's success. The recipient of the 2020 Larry Ingles Distinguished Service Award is truly an amazing asset to the Everett branch and possibly the hardest working volunteer, as her impact is the farthest reaching and her contributions touch all of our activities year round and allow everyone to be successful. Despite how critical she is to our programming, she's always humble and gracious and unassuming. She was aptly described recently as the unsung hero of the branch. Due to COVID, we had to cancel our awards banquet in 2020 and then regrettably in 2021. But nonetheless, we were really hoping we could recognize this individual in person and have the fanfare she deserves. Having said that, it's great that we can take advantage of this virtual opportunity to properly acknowledge her years of service and immense contributions to the branch. Our award recipient has been a member of the club since 1992. She's a current member of the executive committee in the role of treasurer and has been for 13 years. Think about that, 13 years as treasurer. She's been acknowledged as a super volunteer every year since 2017, although her lack of recognition prior to that speaks to how challenging it is to quantify the time she's dedicated to her job. She's the person who keeps the branch running smoothly and does so in a friendly, modest, and professional manner. She has an exceptional attention to detail, is an excellent communicator, and is always willing to drop everything and help a fellow branch member in need. So on behalf of all the Everett members, students, instructors, leaders, and volunteers that have benefited from her incredible contribution to the mission of the Mountaineers, it's my great honor to welcome our latest recipient of the Larry Ingles Distinguished Service Award, Jody Stebbins. Now, unfortunately, as it turns out, Jody could not be here this evening, and she's taking well-earned vacation to Disney World. And honestly, it brings a huge smile to my face to think of her having fun in the happiest place on earth. So Jody, thank you for all you've done for the Mountaineers and for the Everett branch. This award is long overdue, but extremely well-deserved. Congratulations. Thank you, and I'll turn it back to Michelle.
Thank you very much, Nick. And congratulations to Jody. We'll be now turning it over to Ben Morse, the Foothills branch chair. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Michelle. Hi, everyone. My name is Ben. As Michelle just said, I'm the Foothills branch chair. So tonight I have the pleasure of recognizing two distinguished members of the Mountaineers community as co-recipients of the Foothills Branch Service Award, Danielle Graham and Tom Eng. Both Danielle and Tom are longstanding members of our community. They've served the organization in countless ways. Needless to say, they each fit the bill for this award as individuals who have gone above and beyond for our branch and for the Mountaineers at large. Danielle specifically has been one of the beating hearts of the Foothills branch for years. She's jumped in and contributed to countless branch tasks, priorities, and discussions. And she consistently offers key insight into important decisions and Foothills branch initiatives. Not only that, but she served on 8 different committees in 2021. Much like Danielle, Tom serves on a long list of committees throughout the Foothills branch and consistently brings new and powerful insight into any discussion. Tom's known for his mentorship among many leaders throughout the branch and is a guiding light for the branch at large. If you ask anyone about these 2 Mountaineers, you're sure to hear words of praise and a heartfelt story of significant personal impact. But needless to say, Danielle and Tom had overwhelming support when it came time for a decision on who should receive this award for the Foothills branch. So with all that in mind, I'd like to say a big thank you to Danielle and Tom for everything they've done to this point and for everything that is yet to come. Your impact on our branch and to the Mountaineers at large can't be measured. And we're so fortunate to have you as a part of this team. Thank you. And back to you, Michelle.
Thank you very much, Ben, and congratulations, Daniel and Tom. We'll be now turning it over to Gretchen Ta, the Kitsap branch chair. Thank you, Gretchen.
Can you hear me now? All right. Oh, I can see you, Michelle. I guess everyone else can see me now. Anyways, hi, I'm Gretchen. I am the Kitsap branch chair, as Michelle said, and it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Ed Lucas, who has our 2021 Kitsap branch service award. He has been an integral part of the branch, especially this past year, navigating through all the challenges that putting on a course has been, and any course director or course leader in the last year has known the challenges here. Ed's been a Mountaineer since 2011, and over the years, he's been many things: a student, an instructor for several different committees. He's been a climb leader and a co-chair for the basic climbing course. In 2019, he took over as a co-chair, and after the disaster of 2020, kind of took over as a main lead for the class and really just overhauled it and reconstructed it for small group learning, which again, as any course leader knows, it's no small feat organizing all of the documents and stuff that goes along with the templates and all that. But nonetheless, it allowed us to move forward with classwork and got all the students through the course. And in the long run, I think it's done nothing but improve the learning situation for us. So we'll be continuing it forward, and it's been a great thing. As a person, Ed is many things. He's a great leader, and I think he really embodies the whole collaborative leadership style. He really does take everyone's opinion into account when making a decision, and everyone has a say. He's very fair. He's also very meticulous. And I laugh because, so he's an engineer, and he really does put his engineer touch on pretty much everything. Spreadsheets for climbs, for classes, anything you can think of, but it keeps everything very well organized. And he's very giving. He's very giving with his time, his knowledge, and rumor has it, coolers full of chocolate milk after climbs, and also giver of snow cave inspiration. He's a little bit of a legend, and I've heard he's built a Taj Mahal under the snow. So maybe we can share some pictures later. But our branch is very, very thankful for Ed, and he's put a lot of work in over the years. He's been a super volunteer in 2017, 19, 20, and now 21. He's also a key leader this year for us. And this award really serves as recognition for his dedication to service, leadership, and outdoor education, and to keeping the outdoors a place where everyone's welcomed. Thank you, Ed. Thank you so much. Thanks, Michelle. Also wanted to recognize a really important person our branch has lost recently, Angus. he was a very dedicated volunteer, was helping us teach the basic climbing course. He's been a climb leader. He's a good friend and mentor to many at the branch, and wanted to recognize him here tonight, and we'll miss him dearly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gretchen. We'll now turn it over to Scott Carlson, branch of Olympia, or chair of the Olympia branch, excuse me, to present the Olympia Branch Service Award. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. Hi, everybody. This is Scott Carlson, serving as the branch chair for Olympia this year. I'd like to congratulate our branch's service recipient award, Mike Riley. Mike has been a member of the Olympia branch for almost 25 years now, and is a graduate of both the basic and intermediate climbing courses in Olympia. He has been super involved with our club, since he's been here. He's held the position of climbing chair. He was our branch treasurer for many years, served on our finance committee for 5 years, members of the basic and intermediate climbing committees, as well as a climb leader who has led both basic and intermediate climbs, including one of my climbs that allowed me to graduate from the basic class many years ago. He loves to organize private climbs with other members of our group in places like Montana, Colorado, and Canada, amongst other places. Mike has been really involved in other club activities for us. He was instrumental in getting the Paul Wiseman Memorial Bench installed for our branch, which has a great story, as well as a series of climbs that are associated with that. As of late, he's been a real big advocate for the Banff Film Festival. This last year in particular was an amazing challenge, but we managed to make that work with actual in-person sessions. A ton of stories and some funny ones behind that, but he made that work. He's very dedicated to that. He's also a very strong supporter of our Mountaineer books in our library. He's a member of the branch library committee. In general, Mike is the guy you want on your committee and even on your road. And we're so appreciative of Mike and all the work that he's done for the Olympia branch. And we thank him greatly for his service to our branch. Thank you. That's it, Michelle.
Thank you very much, Scott. Oh. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, Mike was unable to join us tonight. His son is visiting, so please make sure you share your kudos with Mike afterwards as well. And now I'll turn it over to Alan Vogt for the Seattle Branch Service Award. Alan is our 2019 Seattle Branch Service Award co-recipient. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Michelle. My name is Alan Vogt. I help with the Sailing Committee and the Night Sky Committee. As you can see the sailboat, the telescope behind me. The first branch service award for Seattle branch goes to Tom Unger. First, some stats. He joined in 1993, so therefore he's almost a 30-year member. He graduated avalanche, wilderness, first aid, basic climbing, and intermediate climbing. He's a climb and kayak leader. He's led over 110 trips in the last 12 years. Who knows before that? Chaired the kayaking committee for the last 2 years. Is a super volunteer for the last 4 years in a row. Key trip leader for every year since 2018, and he presents frequently on leadership topics for the Leadership Seminar Series. Tom Unger grew up in Michigan, messing around in small boats and family camping in the Great State Parks. As a result of his mother's interest, Tom learned to sail small boats, including Flying Scot and lasers, on the small lakes of Michigan and the Detroit River. At age of 14, Tom did his first backpacking trip in the White Mountains of New Hampshire on a Toledo YMCA trip. Since then, if you allow for wind-powered sailing, Tom's main form of recreation has been human-powered travel. In 1989, Tom moved to Seattle for the mountain and water recreation opportunities, realizing that making climbers out of hikers friends was a losing proposition. Tom joined the Mountaineers in 1993, got basic climbing equivalency, and joined the intermediate climbing program. Tom became a climb leader, and with the trip to Peru for the second ice climb, completed the intermediate course. For many years, Tom wandered in the wilderness as private trips, hiking in the Sierra, canyoneering in Utah, skiing in the Cascades, kayaking in Canada, a canoe trip to the Brooks Range of Alaska, and a diversion into gas-powered aviation. Around 2014, recognizing the need to develop an ever-renewed pool of partners for kayak and other expeditions, Tom engaged with the Seattle Sea Kayaking Program, getting equivalency and leader status. Since then, Tom has been working to create opportunity for adults to pursue their outdoor interests, develop skills, and go on adventures. Observing Tom's trajectory of doing ever more remote trips in ever smaller boats, a friend forecast that Tom would eventually arrive at the North Pole with a boat carved out of grains of rice. With his recent endeavors to help create a pack rafting activity and plans for a pack raft trip to northern Canada, that prediction is on its way to being fulfilled. Congratulations, Tom, and I need to get you on my boat sometime. Of course, it's probably too big. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Alan. And congratulations, Tom. I'm going to turn it over to Peter Hendrickson, the co-recipient of the 2019 Seattle Branch Service Award, to present for Jill. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Michelle. Jill Reeder first joined the Mountaineers in 1998, a 20-plus year member. She graduated scrambling, avalanche, WUFA, wilderness nav, basic GPS, basic climbing, intermediate snowshoe, and outdoor leadership. She's a hiking, scrambling, and snowshoe leader, and a super volunteer 6 years running, and a key leader this past year. Prior to 2000, Jill graduated the Alpine Scrambling and Basic Alpine Climbing course with the Tacoma branch. Despite working full-time as a teacher and raising 2 kids as a solo parent, Jill has nonetheless made time to volunteer for organizations like the Boy Scouts and the SEAL Sitters. She's also coached youth soccer teams and volunteered at high school track meets. Jill rejoined the Mountaineers in 2012. She took the Seattle Alpine Scrambling course, and after graduating again, Jill began instructing for Seattle Scramble, navigation, and glacier travel courses, then added backcountry, basic, and intermediate snowshoeing, plus compressed alpine scrambling. As a new scrambling instructor, Jill was mentored in part by the late Mike Sweeney and his wife, Jan. I've worked with Jill many times up on Haybrook Ridge. Jill joined Seattle Alpine Scrambling Committee in 2014. She promptly took on the task of tracking student progress and became a vital member of the leadership team, responding to a host of student questions and issues and helping to deal with a range of internal committee concerns. Last spring, Jill stepped up to chair Alpine Scrambling, and in September, to fill a void in leadership, she also took on the role of Snowshoe Committee Chair. As Scramble Chair during the ongoing pandemic, she worked closely with the navigation leadership to provide alternative access to the backcountry navigation course for 2021 Scramble course students. Jill has climbed all of the major Washington volcanoes except in Glacier Peak and has climbed other major volcanoes in Oregon and California. In 2019, Jill and an all Mountaineers private team summited Mount Whitney via, appropriately, by the off-trail Mountaineers route pioneered by John Muir. Jill, your instructing and course leading plate already looks full for 2022. Congratulations on this award, and thanks for your ongoing gifts of your time and your talent. I'm honored to consider you my friend and fellow volunteer.
Thank you very much, Peter, and congratulations to Jill. I'm going to turn it over to Curtis, who will be sharing our Tacoma Branch Service Award. Thank you very much, Curtis Stock.
Thank you, Michelle. My name's Curtis Stock. I am the Tacoma Branch Council Chair, and it's my privilege tonight to introduce one of our most valued Tacoma Branch leaders, Carlana Livingstone, the winner of the 2021 Tacoma Branch Service Award. For the past 2 years, Carlana has successfully led the Tacoma Branch Conditioning Hiking Series class, a new course offering for the Tacoma Branch. Before bringing this new course to Tacoma, she enrolled in and completed the course through the Olympia branch. This experience gave her a full understanding of the course format, the volunteer requirements, and the trip requirements. The first year of the Conditioning Hiking Series class in Tacoma was 2020. So Carlana had to persevere and navigate through the uncertainties and challenges of the pandemic, and continued the course by modifying the lectures through Zoom, and was still able to offer a complete offering of hikes. In 2021, Carlana built on the momentum of the first year's course and led another successful Conditioning Hiking Series program with 38 students graduating, another 18 students who registered and completed part of the course and required hikes but did not graduate, and 27 hike leaders and instructors. This was the heart of the Tacoma hiking program for the year, with multiple trips offered every month from April through September. Did I mention that Carlana just joined the Mountaineers in 2018? She became a hike leader within 3 months and has since been a super volunteer in 2019, 2020, and 2021, and a key leader in 2019 and 2021. In addition to leading the Conditioning Hiking Series course, Carlana serves as co-chair of the Tacoma Hiking and Backpacking Committee. She has assumed a strong leadership role, organizing committee meetings, planning events, and training new members of the committee who assist with designated functions such as communications and event coordination. She also serves as a hike leader and backpack leader and has a special passion for fire lookouts. This past year, Carlana led a stewardship activity to the Suntop Lookout and coordinated the group's work to paint and maintain the lookout. Hiking can be considered one of the gateway activities of the club. Carlana has provided exceptional leadership to the Tacoma hiking program and has positively impacted the experiences of scores of new club members. In a recent leader spotlight, she mentioned her mantra, "If I can do this, you can do this." Thank you, Carlana, for your service to the Tacoma branch and the entire Mountaineers hiking, backpacking community. Back to you, Michelle.
Thank you very much, Curtis, and congratulations, Carlana. I'm going to be turning it over to Becca Pogles to present our Outdoor Center Service Award. Thank you, Becca.
Thanks, Michelle. It is my pleasure to present 3 volunteers who've made outstanding contributions that this past year with the Outdoor Centers Award. Gayla Linval, Jenny Driessen, and Julie Schusterman have gone above and beyond for the Kitsap Forest Theater and are the 2021 co-recipients of the Outdoor Centers Service Award. For those of you who haven't had the opportunity to visit, the Kitsap Forest Theater offers a unique experience and connection to the outdoors. It's really an amazing place. This 460-acre rhododendron preserve near Bremerton hosts an amazing natural amphitheater where an audience of 500 can watch professional quality, family-friendly theater put on by our volunteers. Gayla Linval serves on the Mountaineers Players Executive Committee as the Kitsap Cabin co-chair with her husband, Brian. She produces and co-manages the Kitsap property. Gayla is a true powerhouse. In addition to all of her leadership for the theater, she single-handedly started the Kitsap Forest Adventure Camp back in 2012. If you were to say that to her, she would tell you humbly about her team of people who made it happen. But everybody knows the truth that we never have an adventure camp without Gayla. Recently, she's worked with Julie Schusterman to continue to develop the Kitsap Forest Adventure Camp, which uses the magic of an old growth land forest to promote nature discovery and imaginary play for kids. She's a believer of the power of outdoor discovery for kids. Gayla provides robust support and admin work during the camp registration process. Her immense energy bolstered by the adventure camp for success this past summer. Julie Schusterman, educator extraordinaire, camp coordinator, and volunteer leader, created the Salmon Safari program for adventure camp families. Salmon Safari is a special time in the forest and around Chico Creek to see the salmon returning home to spawn. And if you haven't seen the salmon runs in Chico Creek, it's amazing. You just watch them hiking up the creek. Obtaining Salmon Safari leader status in Kitsap County. Julie's dream is to do more teaching of children in the outdoors. Her fellow co-recipient, Gayla, took the time to share this appreciation. I've been hoping to find someone with Julie's passion to lead and be a driver with this program. I'm thrilled that Julie has stepped up. Jenny Driessen serves on the Mountaineers Players Executive Committee as the Players Chair and as the Costume Rental Manager for the Mountaineers Players Committee. Also serving on the Kitsap Cabin and Property Committee with Gayla, Jenny volunteers as the Kitchen Manager. Jenny is known to provide consistently sound advice and is quick to help her team find the right solutions to difficult situations. Gayla and Jenny collaborated to navigate all the challenges related to COVID mandates and restrictions to produce a triumphant season at the Kitsap Forest Theater. They would like to recognize Tom Vargas' support, who worked with the governor's office to help navigate the issues. Together, they were able to produce 9 weekends of shows of Little Women, the Broadway musical, to appreciative audience members. Just another example of while the rest of the world is having creativity fatigue, our volunteers step up to make sure something happens. Together, Gayla, Julie, and Jenny are a team. Their teamwork was more apparent than ever these past 2 years. Thank you for your leadership, Gayla, Julie, and Jenny. We're thrilled to be able to recognize your passion and dedication to the Kitsap Forest Theater and to our outdoor centers. Thank you.
Thank you, Becca, and congratulations, Gayla, Julie, and Jenny. I'll now be turning it over to Gabe Ashleman to present our Leader of the Year award, and Gabe is our board vice president. Thank you very much, Gabe.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm so happy to be here tonight, and I absolutely love watching all of the gratitude and praise in the chat as we've been going through each of these awards. Tonight, I have the honor of presenting the Leader of the Year award to Krishna Das. KD has been a member of the Mountaineers since 2016 and has been an activity leader just 1 year later. He's a graduate of extensive navigation courses, intro to single and multi-pitch trad courses, climbing self-rescue courses. He served as Seattle's Intermediate Glacier Travel Chair in 2018 and supported Kitsap's basic climbing courses in 2017. This is a pretty unbelievable number. Katie has led or co-led an incredible 63 activities in the last fiscal year, with 10 trips already planned for this upcoming year. And it's not just the numbers of trips that he's led, but I want to share a few quotes from members who have interacted with Katie on trips and during activities. One participant wrote, "Katie did a fantastic job of organizing information around the climb and making it available to all participants. His leadership is fun and spontaneous, but at the same time maintains high standards of safety and encourages participants to push themselves," which from my perspective is just perfect balance. Another participant wrote, "Katie was great, both company and leader. He even slowed down the pace of the hike to the slowest hiker, which was really nice, provided more time for them to enjoy the trip, and they really appreciated his excellent instructions throughout." And speaking directly to Katie's commitment to the Mountaineers mission, one participant shared that thanks to Katie's superb planning and leadership, every moment of this field trip was productively spent learning, growing, and bonding as a team. I was so impressed by how well taught, disciplined, and bonded KD's SIG was, thanks to his tireless work and discipline and the wonderful welcoming learning environment he created. KD taught with superb grace, patience, and talent, helping someone who grew up in the desert and never stepped a foot on snow before, much less slid down a snowy, icy mountain until later in life, learn to go headfirst down a slope and arrest and so much more. He cultivated skills, confidence, courage, and trust in new and unfamiliar terrain. Beyond his extensive trip leadership, KD instructs a multitude of courses, including AIRE for snowshoes and skiers, intermediate snowshoeing, leading on rock, advanced avalanche awareness on demand, alpine ice, and self-rescue, with even more on deck for 2022. He's also an active lead for the Seattle Snowshoeing Committee and supporter of Seattle Climbing Committee, where he has helped develop an equitable and inclusive application process and accessible future online courses. And one last note, I believe we're already a bit behind schedule. Katie wasn't actually sure if he was gonna be able to make it this evening because he's actually volunteering for a workshop today, which probably shouldn't come to a surprise to any of us, given everything I've just outlined. We are thrilled to recognize Katie's extensive contributions to our community, and we're grateful for his thoughtful leadership throughout the organization. Congratulations to Krishna Das on receiving this year's Leader of the Year award.
Thank you very much, Gabe, and congratulations, KD. I'll be turning it over back to Becca Pogles. Thank you, Becca, to present our Leadership and Youth Education Award.
Great, thanks again, Michelle. It is my great pleasure to present the 7th annual Martinique Grigg Leadership and Youth Education Award. This year's award goes to Debbie Moralio Lynn, Kitsap Branch's immediate past chair, and a devoted climber who co-chaired Kitsap's basic climbing program. So in addition to those activities that are our adult programs, providing leadership for those, she has been an integral part of the Kitsap branch for the past 8 years. And the past 4 years, she has served on the Kitsap Youth Outreach Committee and is one of the most active youth leaders in the branch. One volunteer shared this: "What particularly stands out and why I feel she's deserving of this recognition is her work this past year with the local organization, the Coffee Oasis. In her partnership with the Coffee Oasis, she is leading hikes aimed at troubled and at-risk youth and getting them out into nature. Coffee Oasis's goal is to be out there wherever they are in the midst of whatever they're going through, to compassionately offer youth the encouragement and resources they need to thrive. With the Coffee Oasis youth, Debbie has hiked Harper Peak, Mount Walker, Mount Townsend, Fort Worden State Park, Eunice Lake and Tommy Peak Lookout, Hood Canal Waterfalls, and Guillemot Cove just this past year. As a youth leader over the years, Debbie has led Kitsap Adventure Girls Overnight Camp for high school-aged girls to explore the Olympic Mountains, a backpacking trip designed for young women who are interested in hiking, leadership, and stewardship with a connection to nature and community. Debbie also led with the Explorers Youth Program, a year-round outdoor adventure program for youth who want to learn new outdoor skills and make lasting friendships with fellow adventurers. She has led youth in the Explorers program ages 8 to 13 who are interested in being mindful with nature, and 10 to 16-year-olds who are interested in spending time outdoors to connect with nature, community, and self. In 2018, Debbie's leadership guided the Kids at Mountaineers Adventure Club for young girls from middle schools and high schools across the Kitsap Peninsula, where the youth members plan all of their outings with guidance from adult advisors. During the summer, Debbie has supported summer camps and a youth summer quest, a quest for youth and families consisting of activities and challenges that they can complete together throughout the summer. Debbie's leadership with youth spans across the years and seasons. Thank you, Debbie, for your service to our youth, and congratulations on this well-deserved award.
Thank you very much, Becca, and congratulations to you, Debbie. I'm going to turn it back over to Vic to present our Mountaineer Service Award. Thank you very much, Vic.
Excellent. Our service award this year goes to Peter Tran. A member since 2014, Peter Tran has taken on numerous leadership roles within the Mountaineers and currently serves as the Foothills Climbing Chair. As noted in his nomination for the award, quote, Peter is the energetic, good-natured, and highly capable leader of the Foothills Branch Climbing Committee and course leader for both the basic climbing and intermediate climbing program. Additional nominations highlight Peter's service to the Foothills Climbing Committee. Peter is an outstanding volunteer who created Foothills Climbing Program. Peter has worked tirelessly on building up the Foothills Climbing community, from teaching the basic alpine climbing course and the winter mountaineering and advanced crevasse rescue to chairing the committee. He is always willing to lend a hand and an ear and is always there when needed. He advocates for his students and is passionate in helping them succeed. I strongly feel that Peter deserves recognition for all the countless hours and passion he has poured into Foothills Climbing Committee. Thank you. Peter is passionate about and dedicated to educating climbing students with a critical emphasis on safety. Not only does he keep designing top-notch and innovative curriculums, but he is also building a solid community of climbing enthusiasts who are committed to training new climbers and new leaders. Peter had an immense impact at establishing the Foothills Climbing Committee and courses, graduating the first basic and intermediate classes this year. And finally, Peter single-handedly stood up the Foothills Climbing Committee, brought enthusiasm and drive to make both basic and intermediate courses happen, and continuously remained positive to serve as an example to students and instructors. Among his support from the Mountaineers community for his service to the Foothills Climbing Committee, Peter has led over 100 activities, events, and courses in 2021, and is already set to lead 33 activities in 2022. Peter volunteered an estimated 678 hours in 2021 alone, with a total volunteer hours at the Mountaineers totaling 1,653 hours. Peter instructs for the basic alpine climbing course, intermediate climbing program, leading on trad climbing course, winter mountaineering, and advanced crevasse rescue climbing course. Over the past years, Peter has also instructed for the alpine ice, self-rescue, small party rescue, intermediate glacial travel, and the wilderness navigation course. Peter is an excellent mentor that provides exceptional care into each and every activity he leads. Peter's nurturing and knowledgeable teaching style exemplifies the volunteer ethic that the Mountaineer stands for. We are proud to honor Peter Tran as this year's Mountaineers Service Award recipient. Please congratulate him. Thank you. I love that photo too.
Likewise. Thank you very much, Vic, and congratulations to you, Peter. We'll now turn it over back to Gabe to present our final award for tonight, the Mountaineers Legend Award. Thank you very much, Gabe.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm distinctly honored to present this award, and I feel like there needs to be a bit of a preamble on it. Like most epic mountains of the Pacific Northwest, legends are forged over many years, which is very dramatic, but I think accurately appropriate for this award. The Mountaineers Legend Award recognizes those extraordinary individuals who have advanced our mission in exceptional, countless ways over the course of many years. By leading courageously, giving generously, and sharing selflessly, Mountaineers Legends inspire others to become their best selves through transformative power of outdoor experiences. In the second year of this Lifetime Achievement Award, we are excited and extremely proud to honor Peter Hendrickson as a Mountaineers Legend. Since the 50s, and Peter, I don't want to date you too much here, but since the 50s, Peter has been leading an expansive history of trips. First introduced to the outdoors through the Boy Scouts, Peter's love of the outdoors still holds true to this day. With varying pursuits, including hiking, backpacking, domestic and international treks, climbing, scrambling, kayaking, and cycling. Joining in 2005, Peter's volunteerism with the Mountaineers kicked off in 2006 after he completed the Seattle's Alpine Scrambling course. Since 2006, Peter has built a long list of service to our community. He has instructed many navigation courses, served as the Seattle Navigation Committee chair, and is still a critical member of Navigation Committee today. Peter is the founding editor of the online quarterly newsletter, Navigation Northwest, and was content specialist for the Wilderness Navigation e-learning project with the Mountaineers books. In addition to this, Peter has instructed and led snowshoe trips, day hikes, and urban hikes for the Mountaineers. He also co-leads a conditioning hike series with his wife, Nancy, who I know is also with us today. They already have 11 conditioning hikes scheduled for 2022. Peter has also been consistently awarded the Super Volunteer each year since 2014. Today, Peter's leadership spans deep into the organization as he actively holds a position on the board of directors as VP of branches and as the chair of the branch leadership committee. Peter has also held the position of Seattle branch chair in recent years. Quoting one of the nominations for Peter, he gives a tremendous amount to the Mountaineers and to our members. He leads and mentors our branch chairs as VP of branches, is a key leader in producing Freedom of the Hills, leads many hikes throughout the year, donates his time and money, and does the hard work of running our volunteer organization. Another expressed gratitude to his service during these challenging times by saying Peter has done a fabulous job these past 2 years negotiating the unsteady waters of COVID and keeping branches functioning as a cohesive unit. And we sometimes forget about this, but in Peter's life beyond the Mountaineers, he is an affiliate assistant professor of neurological surgery at University of Washington, where he researches traumatic brain injury in the US and Latin America. His earlier career includes instruction and administration in public and private schools with a focus on assessment and curriculum development. A program evaluation contractor, Peter's resume also includes his role as past president and chair of many professional and community organizations at the national and regional levels. Peter and his wife Nancy operate a small grass-fed beef farm in Redmond. Together, they still travel globally for work and of course maintain a rigorous schedule of hiking and scrambling trips. Peter and Nancy have 7 children and 10 grandchildren who follow in their mother and father's footsteps as hikers and climbers themselves. On a personal note, I've had the good fortune of working with Peter and on the board of directors over the past few years, and I've been inspired by his caring and thoughtful demeanor while being a strong voice of reason during hard conversations. He is a true Renaissance man and someone we can all aspire to be. Peter is a Mountaineers legend, a mentor who doesn't hesitate to offer his assistance and humbly acknowledges the experiences of others into his leadership. We are deeply grateful for Peter and honored to recognize him as a recipient of the Mountaineers Legend Award. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabe, and congratulations to you, Peter, and thank you just for your service. And thank you to all of our award recipients, and thank you to our presenters as well. I'll be turning it over to Sarah Ramsey now, who will be sharing the next part of our event. I also do want to acknowledge that we are a tiny bit over time, so thank you for sticking with us. And thank you, Sarah.
All right. Michelle, can you see my screen okay?
I can.
Awesome. Well, I have the pleasure of wrapping things up with our giveaway tonight. So I will just say once again, thank you so much for joining and for all you do for this club and community. It is like giving me all the warm, fuzzy feelings tonight, seeing the notes in the chat and hearing the gratitude and appreciation from throughout the club. So thank you, thank you. And without further ado, I will announce our winners. So the winner of our first package is Brendan Connolly. We'll be following up with folks after the event in the next week or so. So we'll get in touch with you. But Brendan, congrats on your new climbing gear. Winner of our second package is Tina Fox. Congrats, Tina. Winner of our third package is Deanne Klein. Congrats, Deanne. Fourth package is Christina Buckman. Our fifth package is Stacy Lissett. And our sixth and final package is Christine Grenier. Congrats to all our winners. We'll, Michelle or I will follow up here in the next week or so. And congrats to everyone. So good to see you all tonight.
Thank you very much, Sarah, and congratulations to the winners. Thank you once more to our award recipients and presenters for their time. And thank you to all of you for joining us tonight to celebrate your immeasurable service to the Mountaineers and to our community. Your impact reaches deep into our community, and we are so grateful for your leadership. Have a great remainder of your evening and a wonderful weekend. Have a great night. Thank you all for being here. And thank you, volunteers.
Thanks, Michelle, for leading.
Thank you, Bill.
Well done.
Thanks, everybody.
Well done.
Good time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Good to see you, Alan.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Thank you, Alan. Have a good night. Thank you
You
for being
too.
here presenting.
Thank you.
Good night, all. Have a great
Thank you,
weekend.
everyone. Have a good night.